Hi,
Okay, thanks, Brian. Well, some conservative students at Emory University are reportedly planning a free speech event. This after protests on campus over those messages supporting Donald Trump when they were displayed in chalk, as we've been talking about for several days. So is Emory just a sign of a bigger problem, that our kids and our colleges have become too soft? Let's ask our millennial panel, Jessica Tarlov, Democratic pollster and senior political strategist, Schoen Consulting. Also with Schoen Consulting, I should say. We also have Sterling Beard, who is the editor of Campus Reform, Fox News contributor and National Review reporter, as well as Catherine Temp. Thanks so much for being with us, guys.
Yeah, morning.
All right, so Catherine, I'll start with you. What is your reaction to these counselors being called into the campus to deal with the pro-Trump chalkings?
Oh, these kids didn't just say, I don't like this. They were, I'm in pain. I'm afraid to be on campus. I guess if that's your reaction, maybe you do need some serious help, because that is not normal. It really bothers me that schools are listening to them and saying, you know, we're really going to be there for these kids. You're hurting them in the long run, because you're going to see some, you know, worse stuff out in the real world than, you know, chalk.
Right. There was one student that was interviewed saying she doesn't want to feel afraid on her campus. What do you think about that, Sterling? Would you be afraid of chalkings?
Well, I wouldn't be afraid of chalkings. My question is now whether or not Donald Trump has literally become he who must not be named. If his name in chalk is causing these, you know, near panic attacks among students, they need to seriously.
Panic attacks.
Absolutely, you know. But what they need to do is recalibrate their outlook. Thankfully, you know, you see all these students saying, well, we want this, you know, shut down. But thankfully, there have been several students who have recognized that this is a free speech issue. Especially, there have been several editorials in the Emory Wheel, the student newspaper. They're saying that, look, this is a two-way street. Freedom of speech isn't just for, you know, me and not for these. So there are students at Emory who do get it, thankfully. They realize that this is bigger than just some chalk.
Yeah, speaking of op-eds, Todd Starnes wrote one for FoxNews.com, and he says, protesters have the right to protest, chalkers have the right to chalk. So what is so wrong with Trump 2016?
Well, there's a whole host of things that are wrong with Trump 2016, but that's a separate political issue for me.
What's wrong with the chalkings on Emory University
There is nothing wrong with it. It's first speech. First Amendment speech. It is protected. But what I would add is that it wasn't just his name. There were also things written like "build a wall," and these are some of it's. Yes, so what in terms of counselors and having it taken off, but not so what in terms of what his policies are causing, the kind of hysteria and the divisiveness. And I think that's what the students were talking about more. Some of them were just liberal sissies. And as a liberal, I have a lot of liberal sissy friends. I feel like a sissy sometimes. But you need to look at the broader picture here and know that
some people are upset because they're saying where was the outrage in 2014 when students on that very campus were drawing those chalk outlines during the Black Lives Matter protests?
Right. It's not like people were like creeping around their window like Trump or die. And that's exactly the reaction. That's the way they're acting. Trump's 2016, build a wall, whatever, fine. If you can't handle that, then maybe you shouldn't be at college.
Right.
Maybe you should be under your bed.
Look, absolutely. The fact of the matter is that people say and do crazy stuff in college. If the chalks or if the chalking on the sidewalk is the worst thing that is going to happen to you during your time in college, I want to be there. Okay, that is a four-year country club at that point. That's no longer where you're going to learn something. We have had an entire generation now raised by helicopter parents. They've never really had that much independence. So when they get offended, they take it personally. They take it as an attack.
Right?
I know what I'm saying.
So that we're clear.
Yes,
I get it. I'm just saying that
millennial panel.
It is a millennial panel, but I think that saying that their feelings, they don't count at all and that we shouldn't be addressing this when we know that it's directly related to a specific candidate, I think does largely miss the point. I think that obviously the name, it shouldn't be an issue. I mean, he could very well be the Republican nominee. I guess he could be your president. So you're going to have to adjust to it. But there are...
All right, thanks, guys. We appreciate y'all being here.